Are you familiar with the Anchor app? That's what I use. You should try it out. If Shaq can make a free throw, you can use the Anchor app. Easiest way to make podcasts, I think. You can build your podcast, you can edit your podcast, cut your podcast. The Anchor app. Easy. Like 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm using right now. Like I said, if Shaq can make a free throw, you can use the Anchor app. Now let's get into the pod. Welcome to another episode of the Courtside Takeover Podcast. I'm Des.
It's your boy Dwight, man.
And we here with another interview, man. We got somebody who actually I've been following his career since he was top 100 ranked in the country, man, to the journey he had over there with Cincinnati. 4-year career. Still all-time assist leader, still hold the record for assist leader and just multiple other accolades. Great high school career. I'm just excited to be sitting here now, the head coach over there at Clark Montessori, man. What's up, Cash, man? How's it going?
Man, I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing well, man. I can't complain, man. I really can't, man. Just trying to grind it out.
Yeah, I feel that, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, no doubt. So, just how's summer been treating you, man? Like, how's it been, man? You at a new program? How the summer been?
It's been long. Like I said, started JV. I was JV head coach last year. Transitioned that to One Vision, which was an AAU program. And then I got the job at Clark as the head coach during the time that I was doing AAU. So I've been doing both for the past month and trying to find the staff for Clark, which is all levels, which is high school along with junior high. So it's been a little stressful month.
Yeah, I seen the post you actually made earlier. I just actually shared it. Now, what's been your biggest challenge just being a new head coach? Now as an assistant, you really because I've been an assistant coach, you coming in and you not taking orders from the varsity head coach, but you just kind of coming in and just doing whatever you need. But now it's like, this is your program. So what's been the biggest challenge so far?
The biggest challenge to me is just finding the right people. Everybody wants it because it's a paying job. So everybody wants to be involved and wants to do this and do that. But to me, it's just making sure I find the right people that fit what I want to do and what we want to build at Clark.
Right.
So, it wouldn't mean anything just to put anybody in there. So it's just making sure that the person that gets that position or gets that job, understands what's the goal that we're trying to achieve.
What motivates you most to push everybody every day, like to get better over there at Clark?
Well, my motivation it's simple. I actually tell Coach Cronin this all the time. Once I kept getting hurt, I told him I'm going to be one of the best coaches ever. So my motivation is that I've been waiting on this opportunity, and I'm ready to start the task. Like, maybe me coming to Cincinnati wasn't to be a basketball player per se, but maybe this was my calling. I love to do it. I love to push kids, and I love to be around it. So it makes me happy. So you find something that you're happy, and that's what you should stick to.
Gotcha.
Now let's dive into a little bit more of the past. As I may know, most people may know, you're from Savannah, Georgia. How was it growing up in Savannah, Georgia?
It was cool, man. I loved it. Of course, better weather than Cincinnati, but a little different. Savannah is a little smaller than Cincinnati, so most people know everybody, which can cause conflict and things like that. So not everybody's happy to see you be successful and everything like that. But when you do find a group of people that's with you and down and ride with you, you stick with them people. They're gonna push you. And a good part about being in Savannah, I still talk to the same people. So I still have the same friends and everything since high school and middle school. So it was a blessing to come from that place.
Watching your game over time, your career average, and then just looking at old tape of you, 4 years in high school, averaging 32, 6, and 3. I really I think you played the same way you did in high school that you did through college and you did like through the pros? Like you play with feisty, play with passion. Where do you get the passion from that you play with?
Man, I love this game, man. I was one of the kids growing up, didn't really have much. In the 8th grade, I got cut from playing basketball. So, it wasn't one of them things where I was always good. So I pretty much wasn't that good until I got to high school and I got a different type of grind. And I realized that basketball can take me places. Some people don't look at it like that, but to me, when you actually don't have anything, you got nothing to lose and you want everything. And that's was my thing. I wanted it all. Once I got a piece and seeing how people's life changed once they got to college, and being the first person from Savannah that got a full ride in, I think it was like 15 years. I was the first person to actually go to a big time school.
Man, that's what's up.
Yeah, so it was one of them things, man. Like that drive just comes from being, nobody expected it. My funniest thing I tell people is I played for the Atlanta Celtics in the 9th grade, and my dad's nice, probably the coolest person I've known. So he's always drive. He used to drive me anywhere I needed to go. So the Atlanta Celtics wanted, they asked me to come play with them along with 2 other my teammates. But when we got to the game, come to find out, the only reason they invited me to play was because I was the ride.
Dang.
Right? So that motivated me to be successful, because my thing was then I'm gonna be the best one out here. I'm gonna make it where you ain't gonna have a choice. They ain't gonna matter, right? And then I flipped that 5 years later to one of the people who was they wanted. I got offered a scholarship to go to Georgia, and they told me that they would take him with me if I go there. You know what I'm saying? So imagine that in 4 years, I flipped from being the extra on the AAU team to being I could dictate that person going to a high level school.
That's big time.
Big time.
So if you could do it all over again, what would you do different?
I just had this conversation. All right. So my thing was, like I said, it was in 15 years, nobody from my city, did nothing like I did. So I didn't have really people around me to show me what I needed to do. It was pretty much on my own. My parents, he never did it. Nobody in my family ever did it. So they couldn't really speak on how to help me and how to get to the next level. You get what I'm saying? So what I've learned and what I should have did different was, the journey ain't over once you get to college.
Right.
You can be successful. You can be even more successful in college if you keep the same mindset you come in with in high school. But there's other things that happen in college and other things that go along with that life that kind of deter people. But what I would do is put better people around me. Look for a mentor and find somebody who's done it before, who kind of understand the way and can guide you, because that's the most important part. You want somebody around you who can guide you, who know what to do, who when you ain't in the gym, who gonna motivate you and tell you that's where you need to be. I didn't have that. So just looking back, I would have seeked out for somebody who could have actually helped me and who made it to that next level, way past just the college level to push me. But that didn't happen until I got to the pros. When I got overseas, I found a mentor who showed me the way. But by then, you're a little older in the game. So it's a difference.
Fast forward, we're going into college. You at UC. Why UC? I see that you had other options that you could have picked from. Like you said, Georgia. I see Tennessee. Why UC?
Okay, so how life works full circle. When I was in 9th grade, when I first got to my prep school I went to, Coach Larry Davis was at Furman University, and this was during the time when I was, transitioning from being a nobody to somebody, right?
Right.
So he was the first person to see me, during that time process, change, transform into to somebody. And he offered me a scholarship. He wrote my first letter and everything like that. So transitioning to my 11th grade year, initially I was committed to go to Clemson. So I committed to Clemson my sophomore year, and I decommitted my junior year when Larry Davis got the associate head coach job at Cincinnati. So then, fast forward that, you go, it came down to me and Kimba, and my top three were Tennessee, Connecticut, and Cincinnati, because I wanted to play in the Big East or I wanted to play for Bruce Pearl, right? So he picked Connecticut. Of course, he was the higher ranked guard. So he picked Connecticut. So I got the other choice. So I got Cincinnati. And we both ended up in the Big East.
I like that. Interesting. So going into that, okay. So a lot of players redshirt for a lot of different reasons. Maybe injury, maybe because they know the person in front of them is a senior. When they graduate, this is my opportunity to, take over the throne, be the man of the team, be the point guard. What was your mindset during that red shirt year?
Oh, hold up now. My red shirt year was a little different, so I was hurt. So I tore my ACL the first official practice. Wow. On the last drill of the day.
Damn.
Yep. So my initial plans when I came there was to start from the get-go. Well, yeah. So it wasn't the red shirt, nothing like that. It turned out to be a blessing, but initially, I was heartbroken that first year, to be totally honest with you, because I went from, like I used to tell people, I've never had an ankle injury, like how people sprain ankles and growing AAU and stuff like that. I've never had nothing. And my first injury was a torn ACL.
Dang.
Yeah.
The first one ever. That's crazy.
The first one. So imagine I did all the preseason workouts. I did the Devereaux League. I did the Madness scrimmage and everything. And then I got to the first official practice at the end of the practice. And I did that. So that's what I did. Now, even looking back at that, when you say things that I could have changed, looking back, I wish I would have put my face in the film and would have just learned more while I was there, instead of being down that I was injured, and actually took it as more of a positive and developed my skills and developed my mental of understanding the game. But that goes back to saying, when you don't have people around you that kind of understand what's going on and can motivate and can push you in the right direction, you just don't know.
So my next question gonna be, man, you got your top 5 players in the league right now. Who your top 5, man?
Top 5. 1, Steph Curry. 2, I'm gonna go with, that's hard. Oh, dang. Well, James Harden. 3, LeBron. 4, Kevin Durant. 5, Anthony Davis.
I like that.
Now, who's your favorite player to watch?
My favorite player in general ever is LeBron James.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah. So
now, I just found it real interesting, being that you redshirted that 1 year. So being that you redshirted now, you see career leader in games played. You see career leader in steals. You see Big East championship. How do you feel when you hear all these accolades, being that you just a kid from the inner city, coming from Savannah, Georgia? Really, like you said, you was the first kid in 15 years to even make it. So being that you hold these records at this high level program, how does that make you feel? Just being
your name up there with Big O, man.
Yeah, just one of the greats.
To be totally honest with you, man, I don't even, where I work at now, people say, they talk about all that stuff and, being on the news and stuff like that. Once I accepted the job, I just don't look at it like that. Like I say, I came up from having nothing. So nobody really expected me to be here. Nobody expected me to get this far. Well, I didn't expect that. So I look at it like, yeah, it's great, but I don't think about it. So sometimes I forget and then when I talk to people, when they talk about it, you get that thing like, oh, okay. But for me, I just look at myself like a regular person, man. It's just like I do normal stuff like everybody else. Yeah, I did that stuff in college and stuff like that. But man, like I don't know. Sometimes it just you just forget about it. To be totally honest, and that's not a knock, but it's just like that stuff was was great. But I'm trying to accomplish right now something even better.
Yeah, I like that. We gonna get into that because I want to get into the whole Clark experience. What made you? I like that. We gonna get into that because I think that's a whole interesting situation in yourself, being that you are who you are. So I think you could have got a lot of different positions. So we gonna swing into that. Leaving UC. I think this a really really good experience for a lot of people who decide to go play overseas. I think it's like a culture change, like a kind of like a lot like it's like life changing. So how was that experience?
Man, to be honest, my first place, I loved it. I went to the Netherlands, played on the Groningen team, played in the Euro Challenge, Euro Cup and everything like that. So I got to go like to Italy, Finland, all types of places just around the world. And the most important thing to me was I got to take my mom. My team, the team that I play for, actually paid for my mom to come overseas.
That's dope. Yeah.
So my thing was I got to send my mom out the country. Not many people can say that they got their parents out the country and they didn't have to pay for it. Like, it would just, my skills paid for that to happen. And then to put a cherry on the top, I won a championship, made first team while I was there. So
yeah, I see that you was a real integral part to that team. Now, I see that you was a real integral part to that team. Now,
Hey,
go ahead, White.
Man, my question is, what was the first thing, like, man, once you signed that pen to the paper, man, what was the first thing you bought? Like, if it was for moms, if it was for you, like, what was the first thing you was like, yeah, man, I just spent that bag, man, like.
All right. See, this one's a little different. All right. So I got engaged when I was in college, my senior year. So what I dropped the bag on was my wife's wedding ring. So I got her one when we was in college, and then once I got the money, I upgraded it. So that was the first thing I invested in my family. How about that, so to speak?
Nice.
So man, that's a blessing. Congrats, boy.
Congratulations. Now, what is the weirdest thing you seen over there? Because they so different from the States. So what's the weirdest thing you seen over there, from food to culture to just like what's one thing you seen that you was like, all right, man, look, it's time to go back home?
Yeah, all right. So my thing is everything is smaller. Like for instance, like in Holland, all they do is ride bikes. So you can literally get on a bike and ride from city to city. And that's how it's built. It ain't built for cars and nothing like that. It's built for like you to drive bikes. And another one is being in Finland, where you only get 6 hours of sunlight per day.
Damn.
Wow. Yeah. So if you want to know about what made you want to say you want to go home, I think that would be it.
6 hours of sunlight a day.
Imagine you wake up at 8 and it's still kind of dark outside. Then you get some light at 9, and then it get back dark about 3-4 o'clock every day.
Wow, that's crazy. I never knew that. That's crazy. All right, finishing your career over there, what led you back here?
Oh, simple. Oh, I mean, well, wait. Now that we think about it, it's kind of weird. So remember I told you I tore my ACL the first practice, right?
Yeah.
8 years later, same day, I tore the same ACL, and that was it.
Wow.
Same day. 8 years later.
See, now that's go ahead, White.
So after that, like, why Cincinnati though? Why you ain't go back to Savannah? Like, what?
Oh, so that goes back to it. Remember I told you I invested in my family. So my wife works at GE, so she's here.
Gotcha.
So Now that she work at GE, which is a great job that she has, she was able to, that's basically our foundation right there. So then we go, now I'm here and able to use all the relationships I have to start my life.
Yeah, I think that was real interesting that you said that because I tell everybody this. I'm a sole believer of everything happened for a reason. I don't believe in karma. I don't believe in fate. So it's crazy that you said 8 years later, same day, the same ACL. I just find that so ironic that and it actually puts you in this position doing something you want to do, doing something that you love doing as like a person, as a player, as a mentor, as a coach, to just give back to the youth, to just be here to help the kids, guide the kids, coach the kids, and like show them and tell them things that, like the experiences that you said you didn't have, like being a mentee that you said you didn't have and I always wanted to be. So I really think like it led you here for a reason.
Yep, I agree with that.
Really honestly believe that. So coming back down here, coaching Clark, what is your 5-year outlook for the Clark Cougars?
Oh, 5 years.
5 years.
All right. So first year is to build a model of consistency, hard work, like and things like that. Second year is to instill, make sure our program is basically everybody from top to bottom is trained and trained the right way. A lot of people, a lot of programs I've looked around at, they do different things and whatnot. But for me, I've coached, I've been a player under Belgium national team coach, the Croatian national team coach, Russian national team coach. So I've seen different ways of coaching. So my thing is, in year 2 to 3 is to transition that our program into a program that is built like a European style pro, team, where we do things like that, where we shoot and we work out. It's just not about the players' basketball game. I want to give out tests and things like that just to make their IQ better. That's my main thing, building the IQ around that school and building a hunger to win and the knowing that we can do this stuff. Clark has been a good program. So my job in 5 years is to bring a state championship there. Damn. So if anything under a state championship in 5 years, I honestly feel like I fail, because like I told you at the beginning, my goal and what I've always said is I'm going to be the best coach ever. Like that's not a question to me. Like, it's not one of them things where I'm playing like, nah, at the end of the day, when the chips fall, I'm going to be one of the best coaches that ever did this.
What are your 3 coaching principles? Like what's the 3 things you base your program off of?
Oh, okay. First thing, you got to be consistent. If you're not consistent and work ethic and your way that you approach the game, then you're never going to be successful.
Definitely, I agree.
Second one is, don't waste your time. Not my time, your time. You know what I mean? I already did it. Already been to college and did this stuff. I could tell my kids. But the most important is you got to value your time. What is your time worth? And the last thing would just be people got to be able to hold themselves accountable, and that's me included. So if you don't have accountability, along with being consistent and the other thing, then you ain't got nothing. So that's my 3.
What does one vision mean to you?
Easy. It was my vision, which was number 1. My vision is to be a mentor and to teach kids that that anything is possible. And I'm a person that basically comes from that. I didn't have anybody to train me. I didn't have anybody to help me, so to speak. But like I say, I went from being a nobody to being the number 1 guard in the state of Georgia in basically a year. With basically myself and going to the gym and, like I say, being consistent and taking it serious and valuing my time. I took it personal that I was the ride. You know what I mean? It became basically I became obsessed with the fact that I was going to be successful. And that's the thing to me.
It's crazy because talking to you and the passion, the question I asked you earlier, where do your passion come from? You talk just like you play, how weird does it sound? But you play, when I used to watch you play so passionate. You play like with a
confident.
You play with confidence. So listening to you talk, now I see where your style of play came from. Now, by me saying that, I'm asking you, do you because a lot of people say the players resemble the coach, like the players are a shadow of the coach. Now, do you like require your program, or I don't know, do you have your program to have that same chip on their shoulder, or how do you get your guys to get the best out of them as you
I'll get what you're
so
saying.
natural for you?
So my thing is, Clark is a Montessori school. So of course it's a little different in how they are, as people, because Montessori versus public school is a little different, right?
Mm-hmm.
But me coming from prep school, basically I had a graduation class of 10. So I come from basically a Montessori type system. So the key is to me is to get my kids around schools like Taft, Moeller, LaSalle, get them to practice and scrimmage with them over the summer. Not schools in our own division, but better schools that come with that same grit and things like that, and have players that want to achieve college levels. If you want to be successful, you need to be around people that's going to be successful, and that's the only way to achieve it. I can't expect them to achieve a new level if they're seeing the same level. So my goal, in the summertime is like, man, yeah, we may take some losses in the summertime because we're gonna be playing better in bigger schools, but they're gonna learn and they're gonna see what it's like to work. And those kids at certain schools, you go to the Hughes with Kenny Satterfield, just got that job.
Yeah, congratulations to him.
Yeah, you go to like the West Highs with Stokes and things like that, and Bruiser at Gamble. Like those schools with those kids that have achieved some success and they hungry for it and they want to go to college. It's a different level of competitiveness. And in order for me to unlock that in my kids, it can't just be me saying it. I gotta show them. I gotta show them what other kids their age is doing and put them in that fire. And that's the most, and to me, that's the most important thing, that how I can change the culture at Clark and make it, like I say, in 5 years, we are state champions, because that's a part of it. Just changing the whole culture, bringing the alumni back to do open gyms and simple stuff like that to change it.
I like that, man. Speaking into existence. Now, what's your relationship like with all the other coaches in the city?
Well, over the past 2 weeks, it goes back to what you said, like people know who you are. Mm-hmm. So a lot of coaches have been reaching out, connecting, build relationships and things like that. Like, Coach Rebels from the CCTA reached out, going to do a scrimmage and a practice. Taft the same way, Bruiser at Gamble, West High. I've talked to Loveland. It's been a lot of coaches. I've been having some positive feedback, and so that's that's new to me. But just building relationships and making sure I keep the relationships right, and not a lot of people do some different things and that burn bridges and everything like that. Just making sure I'm politically correct and right within myself of how I want to do things and have friendships with other people, relationships with other people.
Got you.
So you've been around the high school basketball scene for a few years now, or whatever. So who 2-3 of your favorite players to watch around the city?
Oh boy, let's see here. I like, well, of course, from One Vision, I'm gonna go with my guys. I like the Twins at Euler.
I like the Twins too.
I like
So of course I got a chance to see Paul McMillan for the first time this weekend, and he's advertised. Like I told the kids, hey, you can tell his dad showed him how to play basketball, and he understands like angles, and he's smooth with as a point guard. you know, like I said, I've never watched him till this weekend, but to actually watch him, you know, I came away madly impressed with him. Rayvon is another kid that's nice to me. Jay Sean from Hughes, I like him.
He like a pit.
Yeah, that's the man for real. I tell him, you the man.
Active, aggressive.
Yeah. But also, you know, some people, you know, some names probably go on and talk about, like Tony Russell at West High, like him. Let's see. Shoot, what's the other dude at Taft? The guard.
Makai?
Yeah. I like him.
I like him.
Boubacar at West High.
I like AB.
Yeah, he nice. Let's see. I don't know. It's another little guard that plays for Midwest. Man, what's Lando and them guards' name? Man, I like them guards that play for
he played with Lando.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I like him. He nice too.
Okay, I know he's coming. I just can't put the name with it. Hey, why you talking about?
Yeah.
I can't think.
Yeah, it's all good. We on the same person though.
Yeah,
we on the same
page.
Yeah, and I like Makai Wilson at Cub Calf too though.
Okay, Makai Wilson.
My next question, man, how you feel about that new hire over there at UC? What you think in the future for them?
You know what, man? So far, so good. I can say that. You know, the difference between him and the last coach, he reached out to me, called and everything. You know, they actually are trying to build a relationship with the former players, you know, making sure that, you know, that to me is important.
I think so too.
If it goes back to, like I said, with Clark, if you don't get those former players in there to show what's the history like and things like that, if you try to basically create your own program, it ain't gonna be successful because you ain't got nobody to support you. So with this guy, I feel like, you know, he's been saying the right things and going about it the right way. So like I tell him, man, he got somebody with him. You know, I'm with you. You know, if all else fails, man, we'll see what's gonna happen. I ain't gonna never talk bad about him and nothing like that, man. Let's see. You know, he talking great. You know, he's getting some good people to come. You know, I'm willing to give him a chance, man. I want to see what he's gonna do.
Yeah, man. I always been a UC fan growing up, just because. I didn't even know. I ain't gonna lie, to be honest. I didn't even know Xavier was in Cincinnati, so I was like 12. So
it's not though. But it's not.
For real?
It ain't part of Norwood. It ain't Norwood or something like that. Yeah. Like
yeah.
that.
So I always been it's out the way over there or something. So I always been a UC fan growing up. So when they was looking for coach, I was rooting for Nick Van Exel so hard. So I'm curious.
Yeah, I think we all was rooting for Nick. I was like, dang, that'd be
dope, man.
That'd be dope.
He's been around the coaching scene already. He's a former player, played for and it's like a lot of coaches a lot of teams bringing back their former players. You see Georgetown got Patrick Ewing over there. You see the success Juwan Howard had at Michigan this year. So, and I think those former players know the program better than anybody else. So,
yep.
So I'm just, I wish the new coach good luck. I'm really curious to see what he do this year. Me being a UC fan. I just wish them the best. I just want to see what he do this year. So
me and you both, man. We need it.
It's time for our takeover segment of the day. We're gonna ask you a couple questions. You could just answer them as honest as you can to the best of your ability. So, in your opinion, what is the best basketball shoe to play in?
Oh God, low top Kobe's.
Low top. Oh, okay. I've been seeing a lot of people rocking the Kobe's too, man.
Yes, sir.
Low top Kobe's. I want to say that Kobe 10s. I think that's the one I like. I can't be sure.
5 dinner guests, dead or alive.
Oh, easy. LeBron James, Michael Jackson, Barack Obama, Halle Berry, Beyonce.
Oh, okay. You them 2 last ones, great ones, but okay, go
That's
ahead.
right.
Top 5 favorite rap artists, hip hop.
All right, what we describing as hip hop? Are we talking like would Drake be hip hop for y'all?
Man, he more pop.
All right, well Drake my favorite rapper, so we're gonna go Drake. Lil Bootsy, because I'm from down south.
Oh, I love, man.
Lil Baby, Camouflage. I probably don't know who that is, but he's from Savannah, so he's my top 5. Oh, and Lil Wayne.
Got you. I think I like the Boosie pick. I think Boosie really slept on a lot. I listened to so much Boosie growing up, so I love the Boosie pick.
I grew up on Boosie, man. People don't understand that. Well, you know what? Like, if you ask Yancey and all them guys, they'll tell you. They grew up common sense. That's all I listen to, man.
Yeah,
he's like our Jay-Z.
Yeah, Boosie hard. He say Michael Jordan coming on. He said they play the Knicks. Yeah, they fine.
Yeah, I love Boosie. All right. Best high school player you ever seen play in person?
Oh, best high school player I ever seen in person. Lou Williams.
Lou Williams?
Lou Williams.
Dang, for real?
Hey, that's something you don't hear right
That's
there,
something
right
you don't
there.
hear every day. Tell me about that story.
Okay, so this was, I think I had to be like 12 years old. And he was 15 playing 17 under. So we went to the gym in Swanee, Georgia. And, you know, all the hype, you hear all the hype and everything like that, man. I watched him give somebody 50 points in AAU games, 50, right? And I'm talking, you know how Lou Williams scored. But back then, he had bounce and everything. He was catching lobs. He was doing everything. Final play of the game. You know how Duke smacked the floor on defense?
Yep.
The dude went to smack the floor, and by the time he lifted his head up, Lou Williams was rising up for a three, right? So imagine that you're a 12-year-old kid looking at this game, and this is, I really didn't know who he was at first. Then you start to hear about him and everything like that. But before that time, and you're just watching him, you're like, that was the most incredible thing I've ever seen, man.
Crazy. A player coming to Clark that's listening to this, what should he expect?
That it won't be. It's gonna be hard, man. It's gonna be hard work, because at the end of the day, if we or as a team or a program is looking to achieve what I want to achieve in state championships, then you have to work like state champions work. So, and that goes down from even the coaches that's coming. If you're not willing to put the work in, if you're not willing to spend the extra hours for us to be successful, it's not going to be for you. Because in order for me to achieve my goal, I'm going to have to push you to achieve goals you probably don't even think you can achieve. Because I think that I can achieve greatness as a coach, like I say, and be the best ever. So I need people around me with the same mindset. So if you don't have that same mindset, it's going to be hard, because you're going to look at me pushing you as pushing you too far. But that's just how it is. That's just how it's going to go.
I like that. Anybody listening to this that plan on coming to Clark, just know you going to work. You going to grind. You going to work for everything that's coming your way.
That's right.
Last but ask Des and Dwight. Do you got any questions for me and Dwight?
What made y'all want to start Courtside Takeover?
I started it really out of okay. So if you know my story, so I'm visually impaired. Most people call it legally blind, but
okay.
So I started this I was coaching over at Hughes for 7 years. Me and Dwight actually. So I'm like, okay, being the fact that I would never be a head coach, I love the game so much, and I wanted something to just stay around the game, to stay in the game, to still talk to people, to still be a voice. So
right.
Podcasts are so popular, and I love podcasts. I'm like, maybe I could just sit down and interview players, interview coaches. Something we got coming up this season, Motivation Monday, interviewing pastors, interviewing Black business owners, just different people talking to different people. So I really thought okay, I didn't think that it was going to be what it is now, but I'm like, okay, it's actually going well. So I'm like, I think this could be something that we could actually do something with and go far with. Being that we brothers, we knew each other 10, 15 plus years. So I think this would have been a great opportunity for the both of us.
And Dez presented the opportunity to me, man, and I was all for it, man. I'm like, I love basketball. I love being around it. It's a joy, man. I just got finished coaching my first year. I'm like, man, why not? Keep going up. Why not?
So, but So far in y'all process, if y'all can give advice to somebody over the stuff you learn from just listening to people and being around the game, what would you tell kids? Because my thing is, like I said, I'm a newer coach, so getting advice from people who been around that is important to me. So what advice would you give to kids what advice have you learned so far that you can give away?
Man, my advice would be, man, be you. Don't be afraid to be yourself, man. You want to win, do whatever it takes. Don't let one bad seed spoil the whole, you feel me, the whole batch. Be you. Don't be afraid to be you, man. That's the only thing I could really say to everybody, man.
Something else too, stay consistent. I think consistency is big, and don't nobody even know how big consistency is until you're in it. So it could be something as simple as waking up every morning and putting your do-rag on, just building good habits. Like, I think once you build good habits, it could be something that could become magnified. So I could be something as simple as, like I said, putting my do-rag on every day. You don't even know the effect that could have 10 years down the line, because putting your do-rag on could turn into picking your kids up every day at 4 o'clock and not being late, is making a proper closeout, making sure you hedge on the screen, or making sure you fall back when it's a pick and roll, and just little stuff like that. So being consistent go a long way, and longer than people think. So just being consistent too. That's another big one.
I like that. Mm-hmm.
So
appreciate that.
Hey, I'm gonna just say this before I get out of here, man. Look, so like I said, me growing up watching you, like I said, I've been following you since you was top 100 in the country. When you went Deion Dixon, Yancey Gates, Toller, you was Mick Cronin. So I really appreciate you for just giving me the interview, being able to just sit down and come talk to me. I done reached out to a lot of people, and in this business, you go get a lot of people that reply. You go get a lot of people that don't. You go get a lot of people that leave you on scene. So. And I appreciate the fact that I've been following you so long, and just reaching out to you. You was real open. You was transparent. You was willing to sit down. We was working. You communicated with me. So I just wanted you to know that I really appreciate that, and I noticed that. So, and to somebody like me that's really just trying to just make a name for themselves, and I really appreciate somebody like you to just really just sit down with me, talk to me, and just give me the time of day.
No problem, man. I appreciate the offer. You even offered me to come on here, man.
Man, no doubt, man.
Thank.
You're welcome, man. You guys have a good one, man.
All right, you too.
Yes,
It's Sports Time Takeover Podcast, and we out.